That's nice.
And basically they're all like really, really homophobic and stuff, and I'm bi.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so...
You've had sex with boys and girls?
Well, I haven't had sex with them.
But you're bi.
You're attracted to both.
Yeah.
I've like made out with guys who've gone to second both ways, the whole stuff.
Yeah. Well, one way you try to get to second by going down the first base line, and the other way you go down third base. But either way, you end up at second.
I see.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
So, Quat, do you think we have this theory that when parents are kind of mean and rough with their kids, their biggest nightmare tends to come true in terms of how their kids behave? For instance, if you're a dad and you're racist and you're beating your little girl, she's going to start dating a black guy because it's payback time at a certain point in her life. And if you're verbally abusive and you're homophobic, doesn't that sort of set Quad up? I mean, what is the biggest nightmare his dad could experience?
Yeah, and he's certainly living in a world of chaos, and so for him to have some ambivalence right now would not be surprising. Ambivalence about his sexual identity, and for him to even try to be homosexual in order to piss off his parents would make some sense to me. But basically, Quad just needs to calm down, not have any relationships, not be driven by the chaos that his family is sort of cultivated in him, and just figure out what he wants. Don't act out a lot. And you'll be happier in the long run if he takes it easy and slow.
And we're not saying that he has figured out consciously that his dad hates homosexuals, so therefore he will be a homosexual. Just mysteriously,
it happens.
No, yeah, we got that.
When you hate your folks and it's payback time, you just go for what they hate the most. Tim.
Yes.
You're 20.
Yes.
What's up?
What's going on?
I've got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I've got a hydrocele. And I've gone to several doctors, and they said I should get it removed.
Right.
They haven't said why I should get it removed.
You guys know what a hydrocele is? It's made by Kawasaki. It's a personal watercraft.
I'm thinking that's wrong.
But it sounds good, doesn't it? It's a hydrocele.
Well, if it's made by Kawasaki, it must be all right.
Go ahead, Drew.
It's a cyst in the testy, and they can grow and be uncomfortable. Are you having pain?
Not a bit.
Okay. They can impact on fertility theoretically. Is that an issue?
No.
Has anybody talked about just putting a needle in it and draining it?
Basically what I've been told is that they'll cut open the scrotum and drain it that way.
That's the only option they've given you?
Yeah.
Well, what's the needle option? They go through the scrotum into the hydrocele and drain it.
They tend to come back, obviously, when you do that, but that's one thing people do sometimes.
Couldn't you just hit the scrotum with a Bible? Wouldn't it burst that way?
The hydrocele and the testy would burst.
Oh, okay. And what do they have to do? They must have to sort of isolate the hydrocele. I mean, is it sort of floating around in there?
You can hold the test even you.
Is the hydrocele attached to the inside of the skin like a cyst, or attached to the testy?
It's in the testy.
So
it's usually on the surface.
Yeah, but aren't you worried about puncturing the testy with the needle?
They often do it with an ultrasound. Guide it with ultrasound right into it.
But he's saying he's having no pain. Why would
I don't know why they're so hot on removing it, frankly. But I would certainly get another opinion, and it's not dangerous unless they're concerned that there might be a tumor in there. They're not unclear about what this thing is, which doesn't make much sense to me either. But get some other opinions till you are satisfied you know what's going on. All right, Tim?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Drew?
Yeah.
It seems to me that the testicles would be an easy thing to access. Not access, but it seemed like you could... You know how the breasts with the mammogram, they can pinch it, something in between them, and they can shoot right through them?
Yeah.
Seems like the testy, I know I've kid about this, but it seems like you put like a flashlight and rest the testy on it and take a good look at what's going on in there.
Very much so.
What kind? Is it a flashlight?
You haven't done that, have you?
You've seen those little lights?
You're camping. It gets dark at like 6:30. There's no TV. What are you going to do?
I'd leave the flashlight on for a while till it got warm.
Yeah, then rest it on there.
You don't want a cold flashlight down there.
That's a good point.
Those lights that we have with those sort of little curved metal things with a bright light right at the tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for transillumination of things like the testy.
What else would you?
Sinuses.
Oh, really? You go up through the palate and look, or go through the cheek and
You can even transilluminate sinuses and
really. You looking ears with those things, or that's
No,
the other thing?
That's the other thing.
All right.
You all right?
Yeah,
Just
check
remind
it.
you of your septal difficulties?
Yeah, I got septal difficulties. Oh, right now, I'll tell you what I got running in terms of things I got to get repaired.
Teeth.
I got this... No, my teeth are all right. What do you know about my teeth? Don't bring the teeth. I got this.
It seems like an eternal project.
I got
for you.
this
That's a big bump.
big lump in the.
Wow.
See,
is that?
that's where you need.
That's a hydrocele.
No, that's a synovial cyst.
How'd your testicle get up in your hand?
It spends most of its time there. I got news for
I
you.
leave my hand down there for a
I
long
felt
time.
the perfection of that setup as I said it.
Yeah, I got that. I got this other equivalent to this. What do I got? Right above, I don't want to offend the boys, but right above the pubic bone there's a lump,
Did you ask me about it?
I didn't really want to show you, but I talked to another doctor about it.
The hell are you talking about?
She told me to put my hand on it when I cough. Should I talk? I should show you that thing, Drew.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Is it a hernia?
it's a hernia.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I got a hernia.
You got to get repaired.
Really?
Yeah.
She said wait till it starts hurting.
Yeah, but sometimes that's too late. Well, you're going to be too busy to worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
If it starts giving you trouble, you're going to have to talk to me.
When I laugh, it pulsates.
That's beautiful.
Okay. The other thing.
Wow.
The other thing I have is I got to get the deviated septum taken care of.
Oh yeah, you got to get that.
And then I got to get the laser treatment on my neck hair, so I don't get the.
75-year-old
bumps? Ladies with less medical issues than
I
you.
get the neck
Everybody's
rash.
got you
Yeah,
get that.
it's cool
Just put
on a
some-
black guy,
put
but
some-
it's not cool on
put some
me.
cream on it. It's
What kind of
okay.
cream?
Like a cortisone cream
What's
or
that
something.
stuff? My girlfriend gives me this stuff that works great. All
right. Hit her up during the
Seriously, I have
commercial.
octogenarians with less fetchy issues than you.
Yeah, but I could kick their ass. And you tell them that when you see them tomorrow.
What are you going to do about the thing on your hand?
Yeah,
That's the one.
I went to
thing,
I went to Drew's brilliant hand surgeon buddy. He drained it. Well, the first thing he wanted to do was
With like a needle?
Wow.
put a needle in it and drained it, but it immediately came back. And
What
then
is it?
he gave me an MRI. I used to work as a boxing trainer, and I used to hold those gloves
Oh,
that
right,
the guys
right, right.
punched. And after years and years of receiving the punches, it just created a cyst.
Are you boxing at all right now? Not at all.
Yeah, I just been back with it.
In your just a heavy bag, or you?
No, I was hitting the gloves. All right, Daniela.
Yes.
Don't worry, I can kick your ass.
I know
Drew.
you
I know
can.
you check
I know
every
you
couple of months. He wants to see if I'm waiting for him to make his move.
People
Daniela,
would pay to see that. I'll tell you
that'd be a
that
good
right now.
pay-per-view.
He's rope-a-doping you. He's just gonna be.
Daniela, what's going on there?
Hi. My daughter was over here. She just recently had a baby in September.
How old is she?
She's 24.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't quite understand why she wanted to stay over here for 2 weeks, which is okay by me.
What's over here?
Huh?
What does over here mean?
Chicago, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
She stayed at my home.
She doesn't live in Chicago.
No, she lives in Chicago, but she lives with her boyfriend and the baby's father.
All right.
Okay, and she asked to come over. I said, sure, why not? And I said, is everything okay? And she seemed to be quite hesitant to explain what was going on. To make a long story short, I was cleaning out the second diaper bag. Isabella, which is my granddaughter,
Held.
had 2 diaper bags, and I found a short letter in a Ziploc bag in red ink, and I'm quite concerned with this letter. I'm going to read part of it, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, it says, Dear family members, I'm sending you this letter for safety purposes. In November of 1988, the person that she's living with and I had heated discussions in which he tried to kick me out of our home. He stated that I needed to leave, but without my daughter. I told him that this wouldn't happen. He stated he would never let me take our child away from him. He said that he would kill me.
All right, so she's just
my daughter's name.
She's just documenting what's been going on with this abusive boyfriend, right?
Okay.
This was last year, 1998.
She's been with this guy for 4 years.
All right.
He said 88, but I'm guessing 98.
Right.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
So how old is your daughter?
24.
So you had her 17, 18 years old.
Was her dad kind of an abusive guy?
No.
Where's he?
Deceased.
What happened to him?
Dead. He was in a boating.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Just dead. He was in a boating. He drowned. Actually.
He was not an abusive guy.
Drinking and
He was an alcoholic.
swim. Pardon?
But he was not an abusive chaotic guy.
No, not at all.
Has the boyfriend ever been abusive to your daughter?
see, that's just the thing. When Tina and Mario were dating, I kind of got funny vibes. I didn't care for him because of his attitude about school and whatnot. And I said, Tina, you have to make better choices. And I guess she had told him that, and he confronted me about it. I said, yeah, she's my child. I need to try and guide her the best way that I knew how. And he says, well, when I was her age, I go, I'm not talking about you. You're not my child.
How old is he?
But I
How old is he?
don't know if this has been going on or not.
Hey, Daniela?
How old is he?
I'm going to go drown myself now. What?
He's 30.
Yeah. All right. Well, assume
24,
he's abusive, and she needs to get some help.
How old was she when your husband passed away?
Oh, gosh. Tina's 24. She was 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about 10 years ago for her.
Right.
And he was a good guy.
He was a good guy, yeah.
Right.
We didn't, I mean, he was a strict guy, but never hit. We didn't believe in it spanking. We both grew up with the heavy hand, and, we never raised our I have 2 girls, and we never raised the kids with a heavy hand.
All right.
A lot of yelling, maybe, but not the heavy hand. A lot of...
The yelling.
True, we can get some more out of it.
Yeah.
Was this guy an alcoholic?
He drank, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's enough. That's enough
Okay.
right there. So
Danielle has an interesting way of answering questions, which is he's deceased, dead. He's an alcoholic, drank.
he drank. Yeah. He drank. Yeah. Drank.
He was drinking too much.
All right.
He's
but listen,
intravenous drug user, heroin.
No.
He died of alcoholism, basically.
No, he died. I don't know if he wasn't an alcoholic. He died because he went boating while he was drinking, and he wasn't a great swimmer. Wasn't too smart
That would be
either, but-
complications of alcoholism.
Yes, absolutely.
It's hard, too, when you got that keg tap in your back pocket and you're trying to make it to shore and you don't
Right.
want to lose the deposit.
Danielle,
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe empty it, use it as a flotation.
Yeah, well,
Understand something that based on what you've told us, I feel as though you and I have an obligation to report this to social services.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how the state of Illinois works, state of Chicago, I almost said.
Right.
State of Illinois works, but in California, if you have reason to believe that there is domestic violence, you are obliged to report it as a healthcare professional. Now, I'm not in a treatment alliance with you, but I really do feel we have an obligation to report this in some fashion.
Okay.
Because this is a real source of, as I think hopefully people now understand.
What about when her daughter, Tina, finds out that she was rifling through the diaper bag?
It wasn't like you're rifling
You know
through.
what? I'm going to confront her because, I mean, at her baby shower, the baby had been born already. The baby,
Is this her first child?
and that's her first baby, yeah. She was born 2 months early. And I said, I noticed that she had a mark on her face. And I said, Tina,
Danielle,
what happened to your
please.
face? And she says, I ran into a cabinet. I said, Tina, that's not a cabinet scratch. I work with cabinets. I know that's not that.
You know what? I'm suspicious your daughter may have a little substance thing going on, too.
Substance abuse?
Yeah, what do you think?
No.
You sure?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Really?
Just keep your eyes open.
Absolutely not.
Just keep your eyes
How
open.
do you know?
Well, even if she does, it doesn't mean she's a bad person.
I work for OB-GYN.
I thought you worked at a cabinet shop.
My boss, it was her delivery doctor.
Hey, talk about versatile. You're
Yeah.
cranking out cabinetry and you got like the stirrups
And
right next to the bandsaw.
and most addicts are able to get it together during their pregnancy, you know.
Yeah, no, Tina's not a substance abuse. She's not. My kids. Both of my kids do not do drugs.
Okay.
One of
Yeah,
them,
I can
statistically, one of them will be an alcoholic.
Oh God, don't tell me.
Statistically.
All right. Hey,
I think this would be the one. Now, here's the deal.
Okay.
You report it first, and then you confront her. Because I don't want anything to sway your judgment or your conviction to make sure that the appropriate people are notified about what's going on here, because this could cost her life. And it should be out of your hands.
Daniela, you got a little bit of denial running in you.
A little bit.
But she's also kind of a super sleuth, too. I mean, she's frisking people, looking through bags.
Codependent. That's classic codependent, controlling, intrusive. It's
Right,
just
she wants to fix the situation.
fix everybody and stuff. And I'm trying to get her to take it and give it to the people who need to be notified. Or she can give it to a health professional. Her gynecologist isn't she works for kind of weird relationship issues here, but she works for a gynecologist who is taking care of her daughter. She can report it to them and let them report it to the protective services. But it's got to be out of Daniela's hands.
I was a teacher in Chicago for 2 years, and we were required to.
Okay, So you
So I
understand.
should even. Now I'm
Well,
in
you
the
have an
mix.
obligation to. Radio is an interesting medium, but you and I have an ethical obligation to convince this woman to see to it that.
Now that he's an actor, he has
No,
no.
I gotta fly into Chicago. I'm not going to be at the Jesse taping this week. No, she could call. She could call a local school though, and just talk to the DCFS person there too, if she just wanted to.
There you go.
All right. David DeLuise, John Lehr, both here from Jesse. That would be NBC Thursday nights, 8:30. A show that Drew enjoys.
Yeah,
You
I was
like
telling
that?
Anna. Well, if I see a show more than twice, it's a huge hit for me. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
good.
man.
I'm a regular viewer.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a little break, and we'll come back. We'll talk to Katie. She's 19. She and her boyfriend both have itching in the genital area.
Oh, that's the worst. Not that I know what that's like.
No, not with your dad listening. We'll be back.
Substitute teach, and the one of the kids broke both the teacher's kneecaps
No.
with a chair, and so I
Well,
took over.
where were you
It's
teaching?
in Chicago,
Inner
tough part of
city.
town. Yeah.
Well, how old was the kid that broke?
Second grade. Second
Really?
grade, yeah. Threw a chair at her, just threw a fit, threw a chair at her, and broke Mrs. Frazier's both her kneecaps. She's fine.
Oh,
I mean,
my
this
God.
shows you. I mean, humans when they behave like animals are really very violent, very very tough to contain.
And
Really?
God knows what that kid was going home to.
Oh, God.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, boy, yeah, about 6 years ago.
Use
7
your
years ago.
imagination. He's 14 now.
What he's throwing now? Probably ottomans, probably whole like sleeper sofas. He's probably moved up, you know what I'm saying? Or you're saying guns. Yeah, that's better. He could probably kill someone with a coat hanger, too.
Easy.
Katie,
Hello.
you're 19. What's going on?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, Adam, we love it. My friends and I love it when you go off on people, like the other day when you're going off about disability. That's hilarious.
About disability? Oh,
Yeah.
people on disability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Thank you.
Okay, here's my deal. My boyfriend and I we're having sex, and we use, like, the flavored lubricants. And lately, I've been having, like, itching, and so has he. And I want to know if you think it might come from that.
Yeah, it's possible. Is there any rash?
I don't think so. Not on him, and no. No.
I mean, you worry about crabs, obviously. You worry about allergic dermatitis. You
Right.
worry about herpes when you get itching.
Well, no. Well, I get checked regularly, so
I'm just saying, these are the things that can cause itching. In
What's the advantage of the flavored lubricants?
Oh, have you ever tried it? It tastes great.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what flavor do you go with? Because
Strawberry,
if it's
definitely strawberry.
See, let me give my take on the flavored stuff.
Okay, let's hear it,
The
Adam.
general flavored stuff, and it's the
All
same thing I bring up when I come home from the dentist and come do
Right.
this show.
crappy flavors.
What
Which
flavor
is,
do you use at the
flavor's good, but you can spray mango on a rock. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna lick it. I'm not like a dog. You know what I mean? There's certain. It's like when I'd go to the dentist
Mango?
and the guy whips out the pina colada pumice scrub for the tooth, and I'm saying to the guy, how much you think I'm really going to enjoy the pina colada flavor? am I going to close my eyes and drift off to some South Pacific island somewhere and dream I'm getting a rub down on a white beach, or do I know I'm in Van Nuys staring at a cork ceiling?
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? It's actually
so
it
funny.
becomes annoying when it tastes like something that it shouldn't taste like. You know what I mean?
Well, have you ever tasted it?
Well, I'm familiar with different flavors in life, but spreading them on something that tastes like something else and
Yeah,
trying to
like-
convince them,
like
it's
the
like,
first
why not
piece-
put the strawberry flavor on a pork chop while you're at it?
Pork chops taste good,
It
man.
had a mango flavor.
Mango for you!
Oh, Mike, that's good. All right, so Katie, he puts it on. What flavor do you go with again? Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Yeah, and he uses it for oral sex, or
Oh, we use it for everything.
right? It's like accent. You just shake that on everything,
Yeah.
right?
Kind of like what is it, American Express?
Yeah, but why?
Nowhere else where it contacts either of you are you having any sort of itching or rash. Is that correct?
What did you say?
Nowhere else where you are contacting your skin with this lubricant do you find a rash or itching.
No, not all the places that we put it.
All right, so there's something else going on, and I don't know what. So you
They
gotta
should
get
both
checked
go
out.
to a doctor together.
Or one, when both will be treated, and maybe nothing, but you need to be checked. I can't guess. The most frustrating thing about the show is for me to try to make dermatologic assessments. It's hard enough to try to figure out other
Right.
things people are telling me. Derm is just impossible.
All right. So check it out there, Katie. And
All right.
yeah, let me give my I'm done with the lube thing. I was thinking, if I'm going in the back door,
Mango.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not going with the strawberry lube. I'm going with, like, coffee or mocha or something. Because in case there's some sort of color problem, I want it to match up with the flavor and the
I
scent.
can really
You know what I mean?
understand now the fact that you don't really need a lubricant there. Thank you so much.
Milo,
Yes.
you're 24.
What's going on, Milo?
Good evening, gentlemen. Will and Grace is a good show along with Jesse, and I think Christina Applegate is doing a great job, and I think she should have gotten the Golden Globe nomination, and I hope she wins it.
Oh, thank you very much for saying that. That's very cool.
Yeah, I agree. She's
You're
awesome.
Dr. Drew Adam,
Yeah.
I found out a couple of days ago, I was at the club, some friends walked up to me and they said, hey, we think your roommate, we call him Todd, is a hustler, and I'm like going, what? And they told me, just go downtown and you'll see. Well, I didn't go downtown, but I did confront him with it on Saturday. He was like, okay, well, whatever. And I was like, look, this could be a problem. It's dangerous for you. These guys can find out where you live. It's dangerous for me.
By hustling, you mean he's a prostitute?
Yeah, he picks up guys for money.
For money. And that's your only concern? Or you weren't just...
No, but, after I confronted him with it, and I said, hey, you need to stop, I said, if it continues, I'm really good friends with his brother. I said, me and your brother are going to have to sit down and talk to you about it. And he went crazy. He's like going, if you tell my brother I'm going to kill myself, and I'm going to just do something silly, and you don't want to do that, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then the other day, which was Sunday night, we were at the club, and... he walked in with some guy, and they walked around and they talked, and then they walked out. And I asked him about it again last night, right when we came back, and he's like going, "Oh, don't tell my brother." And I'm
he's not. You're not in a relationship with this guy. He's just your roommate.
Yeah, we're not
Look,
close friends.
He is a very unstable, primitive person. That if you so much as try to have a rational discussion with him, he starts threatening suicide and going nuts on you.
Exactly.
This is somebody who's very disturbed.
And don't you think he may be into drugs? Don't most guys who hustle, don't they do that to get drug money?
See, we've been actually roommates for a year and a half, and I have seen him smoke marijuana, but I haven't seen him do anything else.
So there's that we're at least suspicious that's on the table here. That's a possible contributing factor. But he needs to get to some help. I mean, I
don't think that he needs the money because he just started working at a pretty good law firm.
This is just a self-destructive path he's on.
Well, maybe he's not hustling. Maybe he's just gay and he's amorous and he's, going downtown and picking guys up.
Well, acting out sexually in some fashion anyway.
We are gay, but I think that he... I just don't understand the suicidal and all of a sudden the mood changes that he's been going through.
But that's where the suspicion of substances come in. Okay, when things don't make sense, you can't figure out what the hell is going on. Think drugs. Okay.
So should we intervene with this guy?
Yeah, because he's taking life-threatening risk, and then when you try to contain his behaviors, he threatens to kill himself. I mean, these are all very, very serious phenomenon.
Yeah, but what do you do? Send him to Gayhab? I mean, what if he's not into drugs? You intervene?
Then you intervene and make sure you get some mental health professional to supervise him and agree to go to treatment.
Yeah, that was the name of the guy who skippered the ship in the porno pirate movie I saw last weekend.
What was his name?
Captain Gayhab.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Milo.
Yes.
Here's what, and I think we'll all be on the same page here. I think it's good that you're involved and that you're interested and that you're trying to protect your friend.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you got to ask yourself, though, why this involved, and maybe it's time just to cut your losses. I mean, if this guy's not coming around.
Or intervene with full force. And if that doesn't work, then you've done the best you can. And by full force, everybody in his life, with it professionally supervised, and try to get him some help, all right?
Okay.
All right,
Thank you
good luck.
very much for the advice.
Okay.
Thanks, Milo.
It's weird because where do you draw the line? I mean, he's your roommate, he's your friend, and do you call the brother right away?
Plus, the guy could just say, hey, I'm going downtown, I'm meeting guys, I'm having a good time.
Did he say there was proof of actual hustling or not?
No, look, but his deal is, I'm going to kill myself. Okay, all right. This is, at the very least, histrionic.
But gay men, they miss 5 minutes of the Tonys are going to kill themselves. They're always threatening to kill themselves.
We're going to call your dad now, right? We're going to call...
That and a lot of fainting spells.
We're going to call David's dad.
Well, we're going to try, jackass. You know when we're going to bring it up during the commercial?
Well, we'll see. We'll call him. We'll see if he's away.
We're going to see if the great Dom DeLuise is up. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, but Dave's going to call him during the break, and if he accepts his call,
I'll give my dad a call too if you want.
Yeah, all right. I'll call my dad and wake him up. King Lehr. All right, we'll be back. Hey, the Loveline. David DeLuise and John Lehr are both here.
He was asleep. My dad, I tried to call him. He was not in.
See, Drew had to bring it up on the air.
I want to bring up again the...
Let me plug the show for a second here. Jesse, 8:30, NBC, Thursday nights. And one of the surprise hits of the year, doing real well.
Thank you for saying that. You are so diligent with the plugging, I have to tell you. It's very nice.
Well, it's part of my job. Also, the thing that you forget... And, for us, we sit here and you hear me mention it 8, 10, 12 times throughout the evening, but people listen to radio, especially our show.
10 minutes at a time.
A lot of our listeners are stoned. Some of them...
keep reminding them.
Some of them are on their way to, the emergency hospital and stuff. They're only 10, 15 minutes in the car. And you have to keep... Thank you. You have to keep setting it up.
I want to say last night I talked a little bit about the morning after pill, and I'm still taking suggestions and comments from people about how we should find a way to get that distributed more to young people, because Av and I both believe that it should be on everybody's nightstand. It should be promoted the way condoms are promoted. Because sometimes
explain the morning after pill.
The pill is Overall or low overall and a few other pills you can take this way. You take within 72 hours of an unprotected sexual encounter. You take 2 pills within the 72 hours, another 2 pills 12 hours later.
And then a sensible dinner.
A sensible dinner and part of this good breakfast. And then you're 75% protected against pregnancy. I mean, it's
and
a
it
very
has
effective
no side effects?
A little nausea sometimes, and that's about it. But I do believe that it should be more readily available, and I want to hear from people on the fax, 310-854-4455. Let me know. Any ideas how we could do it, and whether we should do it, and anybody have objection to it? I'm mostly looking for objections because I can't think of a reason that it should not be extraordinarily well distributed.
Yeah, I would use that if I didn't. I'm like a cat. I'm spayed. I'm done. I have 2 kids, and I'm done with that. So I believe in making your choice about how many children you're going to have, and then being in charge of that.
Yes. How old were you when you had your first child?
I was very young. I was 21 when I had my first child.
Should be in charge of that.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean now.
Yeah.
I mean now that I was like a baby when I had a baby.
Yeah.
I mean I had to become a man and get a job and be responsible. But I did. But I totally believe that if you want, you can be much more in control. I have 2 kids, and that's plenty.
Oh.
And the people that object to abortions shouldn't object to this because it's a different situation.
Prevents ovulation, but I don't think it's that group. It's the group that
it is that group.
No, it's the one that doesn't like the idea of young people having access to condoms, because that will make them have sex. That will give them the idea they can have sex.
That is the same people as the anti-abortion people, though. That's the same group.
They overlap a little bit, but it is 2 different groups.
They overlap quite a bit. Yeah.
I'm basically an anti-abortion person, and I am pro-condom, pro-morning after.
I know, but you're very pragmatic and you're realist, and, that's different. Most of the anti-abortion people, I would say, are also people that aren't nuts about it. It has its religious leanings, and they're people that don't want to hear a lot about sex before marriage, and they don't want sex because sex is yummy, sex is for procreation, and so on and so forth. It's a lot of the same groups, but no matter what group you fall into, this one shouldn't offend you. It's basically the guy slipped, the condom broke, something happened, and now we don't want to have a kid, so we're going to take this pill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And think about the utopia we'd be living in if this thing was on the nightstand of every screwed-up teenager in this country.
Phone call away or something.
Well, and you could dip it in strawberry stuff to make it taste
make this like pina colada. My dentist will do that.
Mocha, didn't you say?
I can't imagine the company that's making it isn't putting it out there.
I think they're afraid of exposure.
Well, if they need a nationwide sponsor, I'd be happy.
Try to weave it into a Jesse episode, would you?
I'll see what I can do. Product placement.
Yeah.
Pedro pulls out, but not quite.
A very special Jesse.
Joy.
Yes.
What's up?
I have a friend. We've been friends since we were about 2 years old. And we decided to go together and get HIV tests. So, a buddy program. And she ended up being HIV positive.
How did she contract it?
We're thinking sexual because she's never used any intravenous drugs.
Has she been with IV drug users?
No.
She's been with gay?
Not that she says. I mean, she calls them clean guys that she's been with. Well,
Now wait a minute. Was she retested?
Yes, she was.
And her Western blot was?
And it's positive. She keeps on going back and forth, getting tests, thinking that, okay, it's negative, it's going to be negative this time. It keeps on, talking about it's positive.
So what did you say, Western blot?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't want to give it away until I'm clear that Joy knows what she's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Well,
We know it's a dance, but we're not sure what kind.
well,
Go ahead, Joy.
what it is that the problem is that I asked her, are you using condoms with the people you go out with? And she blatantly told me no. So one of the guys that I knew she had sex with, I went up to him and I told him, hey, she's HIV positive. You can't put yourself in this situation. She got mad at me, told me, to F off, the whole 9 yards, didn't want to talk to me no more. Now I'm stuck with the situation that I go to the same club she does, and I see her take guys home. I want to know if I should just leave it alone, or if I should tell these guys, if I should put myself in a situation to tell these men that she is HIV positive.
First of all, you may have a legal obligation to tell them, right? Because
I think you do.
Omission is as bad as commission. Meaning omitting to do something is the same as participating in an illegal action.
That's what I was wondering.
So I think you have an obligation to tell somebody, and I would call an attorney or call the police services and see what you... But what is she doing for her HIV?
At this point, I don't know.
How come?
Because she won't... This happened when I started talking to her about this. She hadn't gotten no treatment for it whatsoever. She hadn't gone to the doctor to have the HIV test, and that was it.
You guys were best buddies at the beginning of this call.
We were best friends. But until I told her, listen, you've got to do...
Yeah, but how about before that? Why wasn't she getting treatment?
I have no idea.
I mean, the earlier in the course of the infection, triple therapy, the more likely somebody is to be sustained without progression to HIV or any of the complications of the virus, to AIDS rather, or the complication of the HIV virus. Why is she not...
I have no idea.
All right, but Joy, how is this your best friend?
But you have to understand, she's very hush-hush about it now. When you bring it up, even if I was to bring it up, she would change the subject really quick. And I don't want to talk about it, and that's how more or less it's gone.
Hey, what's going on with your T-cell count? Man, this NAFTA's really screwing the government and the economy, isn't it?
So...
I mean, listen, you're her best friend, moron. Why don't you get in under her skin a little bit?
I was her best friend. Now she won't speak to me. She threatens me.
All right. All right. You need to... I think you need to bring her up.
Got to report it.
You have to.
Report it. You will be considered guilty of a crime.
But report it to who? I mean, how can she prove that she's not protecting herself or whatever?
What she's obliged to do is reporting it.
To who?
I would call police, detectives, call an attorney. I'd probably call an attorney if she can, Legal Aid Society, and get some advice, because I think she has an obligation to report it.
All right. Now,
that's too bad that the friend is going out and...
I tell you, I sort of believe Joy, but there were parts of her story
didn't make any sense
that were a little thin.
What was that Kawasaki thingy?
That was an earlier joke.
I know, but what was the thing? Yeah, right. But what was the thing that
this the Texas two-step?
The
Western blot test. Western blot is just there are follow-up studies that are done to be sure that the initial screening for the HIV isn't just a false positive.
A double check.
And she, somebody who's not specifically at risk is almost more likely to be a false positive. And so she should have all the appropriate follow-up screening.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like I was saying, for a best friend, she didn't have a lot of details. She didn't date any HIV guys. She didn't date any gay guys. Somehow she got AIDS. Now she doesn't want to talk about it. She's not going to do anything about it. She's going to go back to the club and pick up guys. And
well, she said she dated clean guys. Does that mean guys who
used clean
weren't at one time?
Yeah, guys who had a Boda bag full of bleach that they traveled with.
Clean on the inside.
We got to bring the Boda bag back, Drew. It's what's happening. You know what I mean?
You're right. How can we have a 70s resurgence without the Boda bag?
Someone's got to bring back that Boda bag, because I'll tell you, there's no
People don't even know what you're talking about, I bet.
Boda bag.
Yeah, it looks like
Boda bag's like you hollowed. It's like you hollowed out a raccoon and filled it with your favorite beverage.
I had like 15 of those. I lost one at a Rush concert, one at a Yes concert, one at a Kiss concert, two at a Ted Nugent concert.
Boda bag looked like this. It was made out of leather, and it looked like a liver, like a human liver made out of leather.
Like a stomach.
Yeah, and it had a strap on it.
Always a little Indian sort of paraphernalia down.
Yeah, some little, maybe a little fringe here.
Squirt it into your mouth, so nobody ever got their mouth. It was a great thing.
Yeah, and it was like sucking off a big leather teat, is what it was. And there's no beverage, whether it was red wine or grape juice or apple juice, that tasted better after about 6 hours of camping in the hot sun and hiking up the side of a mountain in a leather-filled sack that was banging against your ass for the last 7 miles.
I don't think it'll hold the fizz of a Coke, though.
Yeah, whatever it was, it tasted like leather.
But what happened? I mean, Boda bag was like part of your daily.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hot. Yeah.
Yeah. I got my wallet, my keys, my Boda bag. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
All right, we're gonna be good to go here. We'll take a little break. Who are we talking to here when we come back, Drew?
Matt, his friends are telling his dates that he's a slut and a player, and how to stop them from alerting his dates.
All right. David DeLuise, John Lehr, both here from Jesse, and they'll be back to talk more about this after that. Yeah. All right.
I want to hear from our listeners.
Yeah, Drew, let me just say one thing, and I know I yell at you all the time. I'm not going to yell at you, but you have this habit of when I try to set up who's on the show and what's going on, you like to hop in about halfway in between it. Like I'll go, Dave and John, both from Jesse. That's NBC Thursday, and then
live in an urban center and having sex.
There's where you jump in. Wait another 3.7 seconds, so let me get the goddamn time that the show is on out.
And you know, I appreciate your feedback, and I take it. And
you take it. You take it just fine. You don't use it, but you take it just fine. NBC Thursday nights, 8:30. That's Jesse. Yeah, I tell Drew, people about Drew that I yell. Drew, how insulting am I to you in the confines of our dressing room, for instance?
Insulting?
Yeah.
Overtly. Profoundly.
Profoundly.
Yeah.
Like a yell, like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Start listening to me.
Yeah, people either just start laughing out loud when they hear it, or they get completely concerned and offended, and
I keep repeating myself, right?
You escalate.
I escalate, right?
It gets louder and worse and more intense.
But you never lash out against me.
Rarely.
Drew's very secure.
You don't have a toothbrush in your dressing room, do you?
I do.
You know what? There's times. There was one period of time we were going through about 3 months ago where you were really
on the camera. Yeah.
You were really on my case, and something was up with you, and I don't remember what it was, but it was wearing on me finally.
Oh, really? And what'd you do?
I told you about it. You kind of stopped.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a show you guys can call for advice? And
advice. We need a team of therapists.
Yeah, we need a group. All right, we really should call a show. I guess we could call when we're playing best of.
That would be really funny.
Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, you're 19.
Yeah, give me 20 next week.
Great.
What's going on?
Oh, not much.
All right. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. He got a little bit of a in before I hung up on him. Matt?
Yeah, all right.
No, he's going back. No. Hold on, Matt. There you go. Paige, you're 21.
Yeah, hi.
Matt, you hang out a little bit longer. Oh, Matt's been on hold for 82 minutes?
I've been on hold since 10, haven't I?
No. We're talking about the guy who we just spoke to. But what's going on, Paige?
Okay, approximately a week ago, I was, I guess, making out with this guy, and I guess you consider it mutual masturbation. He was fingering me, finger banging me with 3 fingers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot of women. I hope they were vertical. As a horizontal.
Yeah, I'm really tight, too, so it was kind of painful.
Yeah.
So anyways, now my vagina burns. And I'm wondering if, number one, if I can get an STD from finger banging.
Number one, yes, possibly. Let's think of a different word.
Hey, Paige, where'd you go to finishing school?
I've never heard that.
You never heard that?
No.
You're from KC.
I guess, yeah.
All right. So, yes, it's a possibility, but that'd be a pretty a stretch. All right, what else? What's your second
Okay,
question?
number 2, I forgot number 2. Basically, I just want to know if I can get an STD.
Maybe number 2 was the index finger, and number 3 was the ring.
Excuse me? I can't hear you. I
wanna
don't
know
if it'll just pass the time, or...
All right, here's the deal. To have a bona fide sexually transmitted disease would be pretty unusual. You'd have to have, like, herpetic whitlow on your hand or something bizarre like that, which is unlikely. More likely is that his filthy, grubby paws caused a bacterial overgrowth in your vagina, that maybe something got in there and upset the normal flora, and you have a vaginitis now, and that's probably what's going on.
I could possibly have vaginitis,
Yeah, that's no big deal.
but
Yeah.
my discharge doesn't smell.
It doesn't have to smell for vaginitis, but start with some over-the-counter yeast medication. See, like gynelotrimin, something like that. And
Okay,
see
so I
if-
should...
And in general, in Paige, don't let guys work you like lamb chop.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
if
saying?
it doesn't feel good, tell him to, not do that.
you like hush puppy and lamb chop?
Yeah. I mean, he got another finger in there, he'd be moving her mouth. He really would be.
Oh my goodness!
How about we go all the way? Okay. It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
She really liked to say finger banging.
Yeah.
I've heard banging. I've heard finger. I never heard finger banging.
It's probably a
some
regional thing.
Some terms I find offensive, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I
And
do
really,
too.
It really bothers me, that one.
I don't mind a guy saying sodomizing.
No.
Hey,
There's something is
sodomizing
biblical
this
about that.
nun, and I'd be like, yeah, all right, she tied. But finger banging is bizarre.
Over the top.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just
Well,
it's
her
bad taste in my
using it
mouth.
too,
Hold on, I want to ask Paige where she's from. Paige,
What?
where are you from?
I'm in the Valley.
Okay.
all right.
It's probably a
I'm not
regional.
originally from the Valley.
You're not from Kansas
Orange
City?
County.
Orange County. Okay, that's a huge difference.
Oh, well, that explains everything.
Sure, you
County.
travel that
Well,
17 miles to Orange County, and they don't speak English over there.
Yeah.
Well, David, you're from here, right?
I grew up in the Pacific Palisades.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember what...
They didn't do a lot of banging there.
I wouldn't say finger banging.
No.
I wouldn't say that.
Too
No.
expensive a neighborhood.
And I don't think I would attempt
The whole
to do
term
the
banging is
thing.
disturbing to me. That's a bizarre term.
Yeah.
It's very misogynistic.
Yeah, diddling is better. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, diddling
I
doesn't
guess it
sound...
reminds me of Tom.
All right, when you insert your fingers into somebody, what would you call it? Now, Drew, you would say manual manipulation of your
Exactly.
partners,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
But manipulation gives you the notion that they're on the outside.
It's where they should be anyway.
All right, Drew.
Listen to the master.
Each year, as Drew's daughter gets older, he gets pruder. It's great. He's going to be like a rabbi in about 9 years. All right, Drew, stop shaving right now. Oh, hold on. Let's get back to Matt.
come on.
That's right. He's been on hold for 87 minutes.
Yes, I
Matt,
have.
don't be a jackass. Now, what do you want?
Oh, don't be a jackass. Look who's talking.
Oh, man, you had a second chance.
This guy's an asshole.
No.
87 minutes you're on hold. All right, hang on there, Matt. We'll get back to you.
Now, why wouldn't you give him an attitude adjustment? You give our poor 14-year-old listeners who can't respond quick enough because their stone brains don't actually register your brain. You put them into an attitude adjustment. Matt, who actually is abusive, you want to string him out.
That's, look, the kids need tough love. Matt's beyond the tough love point.
John.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I met this girl about, about 6 months ago, and I met her through a youth group at church, and, I don't know, I'm into her, and I like her, you know, and I want to maybe go above a friendship, and I don't know how to, like, break it to her,
Why
you know?
just ask her out on a date?
That would do it?
That would do it.
Just be like, hey, you want to go out, maybe go to a movie?
And it's important to do that because otherwise it
Because
continues
I don't want to come up, like, over strong.
No. You don't do something like that and it just continues to sort of roll into a friendship and then you're in Friendville and then it's over. There's no going back.
Yeah.
You need to ask her out, even if it's just for something very, very casual. You need to step up and show that there's some interest beyond friendship. And
You know,
need to
one
do
of
it
the
now.
biggest tourist attractions in Friendville is?
What?
It's the La Brea masturbation pit. Hundreds and hundreds of men masturbating in the center of Friendville. Create a big pit, and I think a woolly mammoth got stuck in it. And then the kids come by. But that's all you do. You don't want to get in Friendville.
Nothing's gonna go bad by asking her out. Nothing's gonna
Well,
happen.
look, that's where you get vulnerable, you take risk, and that's what guys resist, but that's what you got to do.
It's scary. I totally identify with that, but it's definitely benefits you to take that risk and then to have the one girl who say yes, and that's great.
Well, here's the thing, just sort of popped in my mind. Guys worry a lot about whether women think they're coming on too strong or out of line or overstepping their boundaries. But here's the deal, and I swear if I'm even an ounce wrong here, I want one of you guys to correct me. If a woman is interested in you and you say to her, hey, maybe I'd like to go out and get a cup of coffee sometime, that ain't coming on too strong. And if she's not interested in you, it is coming on too strong, but she's answered your question. Do you know what I'm saying? No woman who likes you is going to get her nose out of joint because you've asked her out.
Yeah.
Now, if you work in finger bang, I don't know. That may have crossed the line.
I wouldn't talk about finger banging when you're asking
But
somebody
if a girl's interested in you, and by the way, if she's not interested in you, you're not going out with her anyway. Do you see what I mean? It solves itself.
To you, there's always a potential of something being kindled. Women are more, men are less likely to be swayed by getting to know somebody than a woman is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Just getting that opportunity, putting your bet on the table, is the only way.
Right,
that there's a
but
potential
don't
for
worry
something
about turning off a chick who's interested in you because you're asking her out.
Well,
She'll
sometimes
be happy you asked her out.
Sometimes guys use that as an excuse. Like,
Sure.
I'm afraid I'm coming on too strong. Really what they're saying is I'm afraid to ask her out. And you just got to do it. You
Right.
gotta ask her out. But there are all kinds of ways of asking out, too. Some
Either
guys
that-
come on too strong
Let
in the
John
way they
finish.
ask out.
Or they have to evaluate what they're saying. Either saying they're afraid, or they're saying she doesn't like me. And that you kind of have a sense about that.
Well, there's
You
a
need to be
reason they're
honest about
afraid,
it.
too.
Yeah.
I'm with John on this, though. It's an excuse because the guys who are worried about coming on too strong shouldn't worry about coming on too strong.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not the guys you have to worry about.
Worst case scenario, she turns you down, and that pain will only make you stronger.
That's right, in about 40 years. As soon as your prostate falls out, you'll be like made of steel. Hey, did you guys...
I wish that I had asked out more girls when I was younger.
Oh,
It's like-
everybody does.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, but there was guys that had the cojones to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't understand.
I
would say, how is she going out with him?
I was too
Oh,
busy,
he asked her. You know?
I was too busy playing
Right.
D&D
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
and packing my Boda bag.
Oh. Going to Yes concerts.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good place to meet gals.
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
concert.
You know, I was saying to some friends of mine yesterday, and I brought it up on the air, but it bears repeating because it's been a while. I believe that your success as a male, in large part, is sort of, with women, is how you see yourself. Are you a loser, or are you a guy who kind of gets it done? And that is set and carved into you somewhere between the age of like 13 and 15 and a half or 16. Hey, by the time I was 16, I knew I was a loser. You know what I mean? And the guys who were scoring...
You had it right, though.
I know. Shut Drew's mic off, would you? The guys who scored knew that they scored at 14, 13, 12 even,
Yeah,
you know?
right. But
So-
those guys are selling potato chips out of their dad's garage now. And
Yeah,
you're
they're
on
having
the-
horrible lives. But the point is the way you perceive yourself with women and to women and how you view them viewing you is set early.
Agreed.
And you might as well see if you can put a positive spin on that around the 7th or 8th grade, because high school's going to suck. You know what I mean? Like, what guys you know didn't get anything in junior high but got tons of trim in high school? No. Later on, after they got a job producing, possibly in the business, they could afford a good hairpiece and a calf implant, then they scored. But believe me, what you do in 7th, 8th grade with women will dictate the next 10 years. It really will.
Yeah.
And you might as well get used to looking them in the eye and asking them out about the 8th grade.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. But be kind. Sometimes they come on too strong when they ask out. That's what I think.
Right.
It's dangerous.
Stacy.
Ooh, I have a mic again.
But like I said, if they're interested in you, they'll say
Go
yes.
for it. Yeah.
They will.
Stacy, you're 26.
Hi.
What's going on?
Okay, here's the thing. I've only had one partner before, and about 3 weeks ago, actually about 4 weeks ago, I met a guy at a club, and that first night, we almost had sex, but I don't think it really would have happened anyway.
Yeah.
But about 5 days later on New Year's Eve, I went to a party with them.
She's the speech meter like a terrorist or something, calling it a threat.
And then we went back to his place, and it just happened there. And the bottom line is right now is he hasn't called ever since, and I'm just wondering, I just thought it was like the perfect moment to ask you guys, since there's 4 of you there, if I should even waste my time to call him. And it's not necessarily that I want to...
What happened that night? I'm not clear.
They did it. They had sex.
That was the
Almost.
second night. First night was almost. Second night they had sex, right?
But it was just like the time, it was like, I don't know, it was just like 5 days later, and it just, boom, it happened,
How did you leave things with him?
And
How did you leave things with him?
fine. It's like
I'll call you
I
tomorrow?
didn't think it was going to be how a one-night stand would be,
Stacy.
Stacy!
Yeah?
How did you leave it? We'll call you tomorrow?
Yeah, I left till the morning, and he's just like, call me when you get home. He's like, just to make sure you're okay, and I'm like, okay.
So you called him when you got
I
home?
called him, but I knew he was going to be in the shower, so I just left a message for him. And then I called him, I think, the next night on Saturday, and he was sleeping, and I just said, well, just give me a call when you come back.
How do you know he was sleeping?
Well, he sounded like he was sleeping, and,
He picked up the phone.
yeah, he picked up the phone.
And didn't want to talk to you?
Well, he was sleeping.
Yeah. Let me tell you, that's something you do like 4.5 years in a relationship when your woman calls you from out of town and you go, come on, it's nap time, and you hang up. But
even then you feel guilty and call
even then
back
you
the
feel
next day
bad.
and say, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, honey.
When you meet somebody and you just met them and you just had sex with them and you're interested in them and they call you up, it's like,
I'm fine, I'm away.
Thanks for calling.
Exactly.
Are you watching Jesse?
I was ironing a patch on my Bota bag watching Jesse. What's going on?
He sounds like not the greatest person to. You've only been with one other person, and this is the next.
Let
I
it
would say, wash your hands of him. Don't call him again.
Yeah. And look at it. If it's true what they say about when you sleep with someone, you sleep with everyone that they've slept with. You've slept with 1,501 people now.
Oh, right.
Right. And this guy seems like he's been around a little. And Stacy, you seem like you're a little bit in denial, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Everyone seems to think that I just want to call him because, I want to have sex with him again.
No,
It's not that.
No, you like the guy.
No, it's not really. I wouldn't mind to get...
Stacy.
Jesus Christ! Either you want to bang him or you want to date him. It's got to be one or the other.
Why can't it be both?
It can be both, but you really, you have a connection with this guy, and you feel the loss, and you're attracted to him, and you want to, it's painful. But he is not reciprocating, and that's reality. The reality is you have formed a connection with this person, which often happens when people are physically intimate, and it's been taken away from you, and it's unpleasant, it's painful, and that's where he's at.
So just admit it.
He didn't have the same experience you had.
You got burned a little, and that's fine. Everyone gets burned.
I guess.
Hey, Stacy, just describe this guy. Suede members-only jacket.
What?
Couple of chains.
He was just so clean-cut, and it was just the circumstances under which we met. Maybe it just made everything happen, I guess. Too fast.
Listen, he was horny, and you were interested, and you both had something each other wanted for a time being, but once you gave him what he wanted, he moved on. That's what happened.
Doesn't seem too tragic.
It happens all the time.
I would say in your next...
It wasn't that bad of an experience. I guess the only thing I'm regretting is that, he didn't call back or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's painful.
It wasn't like how I thought, a one-night stand would be, get up, okay, leave,
Yeah, it's an ego thing.
No.
No, part of it's an ego, which is you have saved yourself for a long time, basically. You gave yourself away, and the guy went, yeah, that was nice, thanks. And the second helping, no thanks, I'm moving on.
Well, and it's painful. It's painful when you
Right,
listen,
absolutely.
women produce a hormone called oxytocin that bonds them to their sexual partners, and it is painful for that bond to be broken.
I think I would say to her, maybe the next time you're going to be with somebody, take a little more time to get to know them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, see, actually, this is one good part of being a loser in junior high in my training. And when a girl doesn't call me back or doesn't like me,
You immediately know.
I take it in stride.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost of the norm. I get suspicious when they're interested. I want to know what they're getting at.
That power in our later years and use it for its own good.
Yeah.
The fear's gone.
It's great. Yeah, it's like
I think that guy who...
nothing can hurt you.
I think that one-night stand guy is pretty slick. I mean, if he'd been a little bit more sloppy, like, she said it didn't seem like a one-night stand would seem. And that says to me that this guy's done this before and he knows what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go home and I'll call you when...
If you call someone... this is a great litmus test, though. If you call somebody real early in the relationship, they say they're sleeping and they'll call you back.
They don't.
And they ain't interested. They ain't
ridiculous.
interested. Chris.
Hello?
You're 16.
Yeah. My first question is, well, I was watching the TV show tonight, and you were talking about long-range urinating.
Oh,
yeah,
Adam.
I was.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's where I may have gotten my hernia.
What, distance?
I swear, Drew. Yeah.
Is that like how
John, is that something?
All right.
Well, until I blew out my engine.
Wait a minute. Let's take a break, and then let's go into detail, because this is going to take some time.
Okay.
Let's take a break and go out in the parking lot.
This is going to be great. I did it off my wall on my lawn the other night, by the way.
Oh.
I was taking a whiz. I live up on a hill, and one of the reasons I bought a house is so I could pee on my lawn, because it's always been a dream of mine.
Nice feeling.
It really is a good feeling.
It's like it's a manly thing to do.
You've come home to roost and go number one.
I used to go at my house. I used to go in the backyard. There's bathrooms, but it feels good to be in the backyard. Yeah.
Well, you
A
arc
chicken
it too
pee
high, you'll
inside.
catch yourself in the chin.
Oh yes.
Until I ruined like a patch of grass. I ruined it because I didn't cleverly pee.
Yeah, you got to move it around. You got to spread it around.
David.
I was young. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was peeing, and I noticed sort of the way the street light was. There's a hedge, and I'm on a wall that looks down a hill, and about 8 feet in front of me, I saw a big spider web, the big spider right in the middle of it. And I thought, he's begging for it.
Yeah.
So I had to bring back the old brewing technique and see if I couldn't blast Charlotte with a shot or two.
And how did you do?
I did very well.
Oh, good.
I still got it.
Oh.
I don't have the range,
How many
but I still have the volume.
How many cigarette butts can you sink?
Yeah, that's the question. All right, we are going to take ourselves a little break. David DeLuise, John Lehr, both here from Jesse. We'll be back to talk about projectile urination after this. David DeLuise and John Lehr both here. Jesse's the name of their hit sitcom.
Did he hear us talking about him?
I don't know.
It's
It
too weird
happens all the
tonight.
time.
This is too weird now.
NBC, Thursday nights, 8:30. All right, so we were going to talk about projectile urination when we came back. Who were we talking to? Was it Chris? Hey, Drew, did you pay attention?
Chris.
That was Chris we were speaking to?
About the urination, yes.
The projectile urination.
Yes, you and your projectile urination.
All right. Well, but, it always comes back to haunt me. But I got to tell you, a friend of mine, we'll call him Chris.
Just thinking about that.
That's his name.
Another weird coincidence for the night.
It started, I think it was about the 8th grade or something. I was sleeping over at his house. I walked into the bathroom or something. The guy started whizzing on me.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
Oh, these guys, they pooed on each other and all kinds of weird stuff. Yes.
We didn't-
Yes.
Okay.
You're admitting to that? You see?
We didn't poo on each other.
Oh, God.
Poo in each other.
No.
Oh, well, that's common.
I cramped in a Boda bag and jumped on it. So he started whizzing on me. 8th graders were bored. So I started whizzing on him. But my problem is I was just whizzing on his foot, And meanwhile, there were these streams of urine that were flying over my head. And I realized that he'd worked out this technique where he sort of pinches things off a little, builds up a little, and then lets it go.
Like a garden hose.
No, but no, not in the sense that you put your thumb in front of it and spray continuously, but that you actually pinch it off.
So you can do that with a garden hose, where you like bend a section of it, hold it, then release that, and
it'll shoot a burst. Right.
Wow.
Okay, and it's effective, brother.
Wow.
It is effective.
Wow.
And so I caught on to that, and I sort of figured it out. And then the rest of our friends, it's usually a defense technique. You had to figure it out, otherwise you're going to drown.
See, that's funny, because I was playing like army men and stuff. I had no idea we could piss on each other.
We did a lot of that earlier on, but then we graduated. So
real ammunition.
My friends figured that out too. And then the problem was there was no telling when they were going to do it. And I don't mean it was the kind of thing that you did in the pool house when everyone was in their bathing suits after just hopping in the pool. I'm talking about at school, during school,
on the way to the church, when you're in a wedding, you'd be driving and flip one back into the back seat.
Oh, in the car. In the car.
You told me you'd flip them into the back seat when you were driving.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's the oldest game that children are playing. I mean, I'm sure the Samaritans peed on each other. I mean, it's the original toy.
The football awards banquet went into the bathroom wearing a blazer.
Wow.
Got it there. I got it everywhere. And it was an all-out war. And there was, it wasn't confined to any one space, and it was all the time, and it was everywhere. And that was it. I mean, like, if we did the radio show, you'd walk out the door into the parking lot. He'd be standing behind the door, and he'd get you good. And these guys...
2 girls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm working on a funnel system for them. But these guys could do it, and including myself, but not with this sort of accuracy and volume that especially Chris had. 19, 20 feet. I mean, we measured, actually, went on the back
There's
porch.
got to be like a Guinness Book of World Records for that thing, right?
Listen, he would win it hands down. He would hit... I don't know if you're familiar, but like old LA Unified School District buildings, like the bathrooms, the ceiling is 10 or 11, 12 feet high. It's not an 8-foot ceiling. It's not a ceiling you can reach up and touch. It's higher than the one that's in this studio right here. His big fun was he'd hit the ceiling pretty good. He'd give the ceiling a good dousing and then stand back and watch guys walk in, and it would drip on them while they were standing at the urinals.
I taught in LA Unified for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
South Central.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
There were a couple of times when you couldn't find the teacher's restroom, had to use the public. And let me tell you,
it wasn't pretty.
Wow. It wasn't how I remembered it.
Yeah.
Man.
So
because guys are peeing on the ceiling.
They brood on many a person.
That's a task. You know what? I'm scared to say this, but I'm going to try that when I get home. Well, not on the ceiling.
Don't hurt yourself, David. We got to work tomorrow.
Brewing.
I'm not using an ounce of hyperbole here. You could stand 12 to 14 feet away from these guys, and they could hit you in the forehead.
That's amazing.
I swear to God.
Like snipers. It would get you around a corner.
It was not right at all. Not at all, especially when you're wearing like a nice cotton shirt.
Right. Their prostates are going to absolutely fall right out of their rectum.
Mine may be halfway out, too. Oh, boy. Chris. Yeah, and in guys' cars all the time. All the time.
I heard it was good for your driving to pee hard, to try to pee hard. Is that not true?
Not to interrupt it, though.
Not to interrupt, not to cause pressure on the prostate, not to delay it, that sort of stuff. No.
Yeah, we may have.
To empty all the way and to...
Even if we die a few years early, I think it was worth it. You really had a good time with that.
You're going to live 20 years with your prostate hanging out your ass.
It's not supposed to be out your ass?
Chris?
Yeah.
All right, so you're 16.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah.
Well,
tomorrow night, kiddies, I'll get into number 2. Go ahead.
All right, well, after I saw the show, I couldn't help it. I went outside and tried it, and I can only get about 6 or 7 feet.
But you understood the process.
Not really. Is it like you pitch off a garden hose and it just bursts out like all at once, or does it like a steady stream?
Chris, don't do this.
Why not?
He apparently you can do some damage to your prostate, but
it's going to be hanging out of your body.
Oh God,
Chris, come on! I don't need a lawsuit on my hands, and especially not a bizarre lawsuit. You know, this would be bizarre.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yeah,
it is referred to my first slide.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what we're going to prove today is that Adam Carolla is a very influential man, and there's many confused teenagers listening to this show.
2 bailiffs bringing a kid's swimming pool.
He glorifies projectile urination, Your Honor. He's the Pied Piper, if you will. All right, so Chris, the Pied Piper of North Hollywood. Yeah, don't mess with that. You'll end up posting radio shows. The Pied Piper of North Hollywood.
Just pee regular. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's.
It feels good when you're done too.
Let me tell you, the big problem with this is it was anywhere, anytime, with no boundaries.
You smelled like urine your whole middle school experience.
You would be at a party.
More than middle school.
I've got a great idea.
High school.
For 6 months ago.
Chris, why doesn't he just pee into a super soaker and then shoot it?
There you go.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Snake,
making me.
Our buddy Snake, who could not master this, just urinated in.
Oh, really? Is that what he did?
And kept that with him.
Yeah, like a little grenade. Just back it up.
Water balloon.
Yeah. No,
fills up his bathtub.
These guys, if you were sitting at a restaurant and you're sitting across from them at a table, you could feel something on your leg. Oh. In the restaurant.
Man.
In the car, doesn't matter.
See, this
at
is
the
like,
banquet, wherever.
This is like crossing the line. I mean, I did a lot of crazy stuff when I was younger with my brothers, but peeing on each other is just something I never even thought of.
Listen,
but if you had.
Yeah, oh, God, I wish I did.
Yeah, it was great.
And you know how humans are. Once you start something, it happens. It escalates.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no negotiating for you.
I can't wait to see my brothers now. I'm going to pee on them.
No one can negotiate a truce for you.
If you had a forking going on, and you tried this,
take out 2 guys.
2 guys at once?
I guess you could, yeah. The forking, though, the blast will clear whatever's causing the forking.
Every guy worth his salt knows that.
Just for clarification, we're talking about a split stream.
Right. Not forking your girlfriend, right, Drew? Dan, you're 28.
Hi. Hi, Drew. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, I did something stupid about 2.5 months ago. I went and picked up a prostitute, and we had sex. She was a crack whore.
How do you know that?
Well, she was smoking crack.
Well, that's how you knew that.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. But my question is that I used a condom, but prostitutes, as soon as they look at you, they put it on. I mean, they don't wait for it to get hard. How effective is it to use a condom when it's not hard?
Did you eventually get hard? Did you eventually get hard?
No, actually, I wasn't really into it. I was too nervous and too.
Did you grow?
I didn't really want it.
How does it stay on if you're not erect?
Huh? Well, I don't know. It did kind of stay on, but that's my problem is that she was on top, okay, and it hurt the way she was going at it, and I wasn't even hard at all, and the condom stayed on, okay. The reason it even got in is because she was just so loose that
Oh, hold on a second there. I know, it's hard to be offended after you've just talked about urinating on your friends for the last 45 minutes, but my sensibilities they've crossed the line here, yeah. Now, I don't understand how the condom stays on a flaccid penis when a woman is hopping around on top of it.
He just wasn't fully erect is the deal.
Yeah.
And it stays on because it can stay on. I mean,
Right.
So what's he worried about?
I don't understand.
There's more here than meets the eye. The thing must have pulled off or come back or been partially taken off or something like that, right, Dan?
Well, no.
No.
It wasn't on all the way. Okay, it was kind of,
Did you just tie it around your nuts? Is that what you mean? like a scarf? Was it on your? Did it cover your penis or not?
Yes, it did.
All right.
But
did.
There's another thing too.
What?
Is that I have warts and herpes.
You have herpes?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And I got it on my first time out at bat.
Did you have any active lesions at the time you were?
No, I didn't.
Right.
But I do have a wart that is not on my penis. That it's in the pubes area.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about.
This is new?
No, actually, I had the
the warts started, was it January of 90, and then
Funny when you know the month,
away,
you know what I mean?
like a couple months ago, they just went away, and, that now they've pretty much cleared up.
All right, what are you worried about with this wart on your pube?
Why are you worried about that?
I was worried because if that would make transmission of, say, HIV or anything else, especially HIV.
Okay, like some sort of porthole.
Yeah, it was that part was exposed.
Maybe he doesn't know what a wart is, but warts are just skin. And so if there's not an ulcer, no, it doesn't increase the risk.
And I would have to say, if you're concerned about HIV, probably a hooker who's a crack whore is not the person to be hanging out with.
Interesting choices this guy makes, and yet he's obsessed about this stuff.
Yeah,
it's an STD his first time out, but then he...
Well, his choices, I'm sure, have been quite illustrious all the way along.
It's funny that he's a real fastidious guy, but he's out banging crack whores. It's like Tony Randall's out banging crack whores. And then commenting on the decor of the crack den.
Right, it has his warts like cataloged and measured.
He's like wearing a three-piece suit and banging crack whores.
Crack whore.
And a derby. All right, we'll be back.
Listening, you're going to hear everything you want to hear and all the answers too.
Yes, you is. David DeLuise and John Lehr are both here. Jesse is the name of their show. NBC, 8:30.
Hey.
Thursday nights. Snuggled in between Friends and, is that Frasier?
Yeah, and Frasier, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's essentially really considered, and there's some argument, but Friends and Frasier, probably the two best sitcoms on TV. I mean, people like Everyone Loves Raymond. There's probably a couple other ones out there.
Right.
But, I mean, those two...
we are snuggled in between.
Yeah, on the same night.
We're nice, warm, and cozy.
Yeah, and that's good, and you guys are good too. So it's like, why bother changing the channel? Of course, we got to go to work.
Good reason.
But I've seen Jesse quite a few times, because any show that's on before 9, I'll see, but I always leave at 9 o'clock to come to work. So after that, except for the fabulous Friday nights, when I get to see the TGIF Friday. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Boy Meets World. 2020. It's a great night. It's a great night to be home.
You actually you actually get to watch TV.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hell-bent on watching. By the time Friday night rolls around, I'm hell-bent on watching a show that comes on at 9. And if it was some 16-millimeter footage of my dad on top of my mom, I would watch it. Because it's 9 o'clock, and goddammit, I'm watching TV. I'm not going anywhere.
That's so funny. Well, I'll tell you that me and my wife, we have 2 kids, and we actually stay up till 11 to watch Loveline on MTV, and we love it. We do not. We do.
Yes, we do.
My wife loves you to death, and actually during the break, she wanted me to tell you that she loves you, and she's enjoying the show a lot tonight.
Nice.
God
My
bless
girlfriend echoes that, Dr. Drew.
Oh, that's very nice.
My friends who urinate on me are big fans of mine. They're such big fans that they don't urinate on me near as much as they did. And it's usually just a waist down thing now. I think that's out of respect.
They just pee right on your shoe.
That's right.
Just a little on your shoe.
On the ring.
Matt, you're 19. Matt's been on hold for 124 minutes. He gave us a little surus at about the 82-minute mark, and so we put him back on hold. And then he gave us a little more surus about 95 minutes, so we put him back again. But I'm guessing Matt is going to be Mr. Manners now, aren't you, Matt?
I'm really curious as to what he has to say.
Adam, I'm about as bad as you, so...
All right. Yeah, so you're doing fine. Now, what's your question, Matt?
Okay, well... Recently, I just found out that, well, I already knew that my friends think of me as the town slut, pretty much. I just found out that they're warning people about me now who I don't even know, on the off chance that I might meet them.
Right.
And quite frankly, this pisses me off. And I'm trying to figure out how to tell them that I am not, because, well, my sex life has gone down considerably since 97, and it's all by my own choice.
You're gay.
Oh, Drew, please. No,
Actually, no, I'm bisexual.
All right.
What's your question for us?
Yeah, what is your question?
I'm trying to figure out how to do this without killing someone.
Do what?
Convince them that I am not the town slut.
Yeah. Now, when you say they're telling people this, you mean like when you go out to a party, they're giving girls a sort of heads up while they're by the keg, or they're going and putting flyers on people's windshields?
Actually, I have seen a few flyers. No, I'm kidding. This one girl, I met her. She and I are pretty good friends now. We've gotten to know each other, and they pretty much told her, don't meet him, don't talk to him. He's gonna end up trying to have sex with you the first day you meet him, that kind of thing.
Who's they?
This is his friends, apparently.
Well, friends and associates. They pretty much think of me as the town slut. They don't want anyone to get into. They don't want me to start hurting people again.
Okay, Matt. It's sort of like my penis is too big call.
A little bit of that, but also it's a little bit of what did you expect us to say? Those horrible people for trying to protect somebody from your erratic, irresponsible behavior.
All right.
I think if he's been on hold for 124 minutes, there's no way he could be the town slut.
Yeah.
I mean,
would have had to get something.
You can't run around all over town while on hold.
Why doesn't Matt try this? Why doesn't he tell the folks that are telling other people? I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last year or two, I've sort of changed my ways, and I don't appreciate you giving people a heads up.
Or I wouldn't even hang around those people if you know what I mean.
It's another decent point. We talk to people all night long, and it happens when you're 19, when you're 14, when you're 17. You go, my best friend, I slept out at their house, yeah, and when I woke up, the guy had a .44 pistol in my mouth, and he was blowing me, and now I'm scared I'm going to lose him as a friend. and it's like, maybe the guy's not as close a friend as you thought. I don't want to offend the guy. Maybe get a new friend. Well, I can't do that.
You do get into that, like, St. Elmo's fire thing where you get this group of friends, and it's hard to, like, realize that outside that there's a whole world.
You get locked into this thing, and one guy starts spinning off, and he tries to sleep with your girlfriend, and he gets hooked on crack, and through all of this, you're determined on salvaging your friendship.
Yeah.
He then steals your dad's truck and sells it for crack, and you're trying to bail him out. And it's like, eventually, you just cut your losses. And when you get older, you get much more selective. And the second somebody screws up,
they're gone.
That's it.
Wow.
The quieter and less dramatic way Matt can handle this, I think, the better. The more dramatic and confrontational he is about it, the more he brings more attention to himself.
Yeah.
Did anybody, changing gears here for just 1 second.
Same advice I would apply to his friends, though, too, in terms of dealing with Matt.
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up because I never watch Larry King. All I do is hear people make fun of Larry King, but I never watch Larry King. And I figured people just are making fun of him because it seems like a fun guy, like he's an easy target. But Larry King is really bad. I never really knew that. I just thought people made fun of him
because he doesn't ask good questions.
He's just bad. I watched him interview Madonna tonight.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was like my girlfriend looked at me and said, "It's like your grandfather sitting down with one of the kids and trying to talk to him." And he's funny. I wrote down a couple of things. He said 2 things that cracked me up. He said, in your new Vogue magazine spread, you're dressed up like a geisha girl." And she went, geisha girl? That's right, geisha. That's funny. And he called her daughter's name is Lourdes, right? And he goes, "I noticed your daughter's name is Lords. What's the significance of Lords?" She said, "Well, it's a town called Lords. Well, it's Lourdes." Oh. And I thought, geez, Larry, you didn't want to...
Madonna, just get,
You didn't want to check... just check out the pronunciation on the kid's name. And don't get me wrong, I don't prepare either. But one thing I always do, Drew, find out how people's names are pronounced, don't I? Start yelling at
where they're sitting.
And who's closest to me?
Well, my name's Lehr, and people always pronounce it Lehr, and you didn't. You pronounced it Lehr from the get-go.
Well, it got spelled Lear.
I saw that. Yeah.
So
well, I think that's better.
I'm just gonna make it Leer. Lear.
All my baseball coaches always call me Lehr. You can run faster, Lehr.
Yeah.
Rock and fire, Lehr.
Well, there was that. There's a comedian, Lehrer, Jim Lehr. No, Jim Lehr is the newscaster.
No, Timothy
Lehrer, wasn't it?
No. Wait a minute. We're on 8. We got like 8.5 guys turned into 3 guys here. There is Dennis Leary.
And Jim Lehrer.
There's Jim Lehr, and there's Timothy Leary.
He dropped a lot of Western blotter.
Yeah. And who else?
Who's the guy that played the piano and sung funny songs?
That was, you mean the political?
No, it's...
Oh, yeah.
He'd sing like the periodic tables. Lehr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
I have no idea.
Jay.
Yeah.
You're 21.
How's it going?
Good.
Well, I took a ski trip this weekend, and, I hitched a ride, and I met this person for the first time when I hitched a ride with him.
Yeah, I was going to say it had to be a guy, because if you're going to tell me about some sort of conquest when some chick picked you up, I was going to say you're lying. But guys,
I didn't conquer anything, but anyway. So what happened is that I saw her, well stacked. That's my first impression, and we rode up to the resort and we got to know each other. And, I thought, this is cool. I really dig this chick. I mean, I really do.
All right, we got about a minute left in the show, so go ahead, Joe.
All right, quick thing is I just found out she's 8 years older than I am. I thought she was around my age. And I don't know where to go from here.
All right, you're fine. Ask her out. Yeah,
same thing.
It'll be her friends will give her more crap than your friends will give you. I mean, it's a little bit more of her issue than it is your issue.
She may be thinking, "Oh, he's not serious. I need to get married." Blah blah blah.
But you met her hitchhiking.
That's her deal. Yeah, I don't know how serious she's going to be about her relationships anyway. So,
all right, ask her out. Don't worry about the age difference. Right. Mike, 15.
Yeah.
Girlfriend played strip poker with an ex-boyfriend recently. You're pissed off.
Sure. We're behind you. You should be.
Yeah.
That sucks.
How'd you find out about it?
Well, she told me.
Okay. Then that's...
she went over to his house one day, and then she came up.
It's not respectful to your feeling.
Yeah.
It's not taking that into consideration.
And the fact that she told you means that she's a little off and is looking for a little chaos. You know what I'm saying?
Or distance.
Yeah, meaning when you're in a relationship and you decide at some point in the relationship it'd be a cool idea to go over to the exes and take your pants off, and then you come back and go, hey, guess where I was this afternoon? You're looking to either break up or shake up this guy.
Yeah.
But you're looking for a reaction, and that's why you did it.
And, all right. Never draw on 2 pair.
We'll be right back.
Figured out it wasn't a compound fracture, and they just finished him off. All right, everybody.
Ray didn't come over with a colon full, did he?
Okay, that's something else.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for having us here. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming in. Jesse, everybody. NBC, Thursday nights, 8:30, and go pick up David's famous father's book.
Yeah.
Dom DeLuise, Eat This Too, it's called. It's a fabulous cookbook. It's got lots of nice pictures and anecdotes and recipes, and it's a must for anybody who ever eats. There.
That was a good one.
That is it. So, until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.